Bartley. I own a company that's called Yodel Networking. How I got the name, I'll give you a little backstory there. I work with a guy who said, give me a list of all these things in your life that you enjoy and like, and I came up with a whole list, and on that list was singing, communication, Switzerland is one of my favorite places, so he came up with this name, yodeling, and it just worked. It makes sense for what I do. My company started 2 years ago in December. Actually, it was really interesting. I moved 2 years ago from San Diego. Everybody asks why, because it's crazy that I live here, but I love it. I used to live here when I was younger. I moved away for 10 years, and I said, I'm coming back. I told my parents day one, I'm like, I'm not staying here. It's only a matter of time, and 10 years later, I did it. I graduated college. I said, all right, I'm packing the car, see you later. Nobody believed me. They thought I was like nowhere. They're like, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? But I did it, and I love it. So I've been here for 2 years. When I first moved here, I was working at Lifetime Fitness, doing personal training and group fitness coordinating. When I was in college, I started a company, an in-home personal training company. So I went to people's houses, did personal training for them. I had a group of guys that was my dad's age. They come to my house every Saturday and work out in the cul-de-sac that I had, so it was kind of nice. I got to bully these older men around, tell them what to do. It totally worked for me. I really enjoy doing that kind of stuff, you know, pushing people around. It just works for me. So anyways, I moved here, was doing personal training. I knew I needed a job. I had graduated college, so I started with Lifetime Fitness. I was there for about 5 months, and I kept calling home, and I'm like, I absolutely love where I live. I cannot do this job. Don't want to do it. I would cry. I cannot tell you. I think I cried every night to my parents. I'd call them. I'm like, I hate this. I got to get out of this. What can I do? And they're like, you know, you're fine. I'm like, no, no, no. I love it here, but I cannot do this any longer. So I begged my dad to let me work with him a little bit. My dad and I are very similar. Just the way that we are, type A, you know, Anna Rotena, a little intense. And it's okay for men to be like that. Sometimes for women, it's a little different, I have to say, but it's okay. So he said, no, can't work for me. He owns a dental laser company. So he said, no, not gonna happen. I don't want people thinking I'm giving a handout. So I kept bugging him about it, and actually some of his employees went to him and said, we need her for marketing. Can you just give her 20 hours a week? So he's like, fine, she's not working for me though. You can take a hold of her, do whatever you want. So I came in and they asked me, they had just started, it was a small company, so it's a dental laser company. It's based out of Florence, Italy, which is really nice because I love to travel. So going to Florence, Italy was totally fine by me. Like, hey, if I have to, I guess. So, yeah, so I started helping them. They said, our website's horrible, we need to redo it, but we don't have the funds right now. We want to go with Facebook. Here's the goal. We have 3 months. We want to get to 1,000 followers. Do whatever you need to. Sit on Facebook all day. Friend request, dentists, whoever you can. So that's what I did. I sat on Facebook. I friend requested all these different people, researched. Facebook makes it a lot harder now if you have looked into it to do that because it's spamming and you will get blocked. So don't do that. But from that point, until now, I still work with their company about 10 hours a week. So it's a dental laser company, and you'll see this through the presentation, a few of the different companies that I work with. I started it by myself 2 years ago in December, like I said, and now I have 4 employees. I work full-time, they work part-time, and we manage other companies' social media sites. So that's why I am on Facebook every day. So, if I'm on there and I respond really quickly, it's something I have to work on not responding too quickly because I'm like, not everybody is on this all the time. So I will hit other social media platforms in here too, but I mostly work with Facebook because when I talk to companies, I ask them what they want. If they want to do Facebook, if they want to do Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, and again, we'll go over a few different ones, but usually people want to start with Facebook because that's where everybody is. I don't know about you, but every place I feel like that I go into, it's like TCBY Yogurt. You walk in, they're like, find us on Facebook. Every place is moving towards that. So some of the companies, my company, I don't have a website. I only use Facebook, but anybody can access it. So some people are even moving that way, not everybody, but for me, that's where I went. Not a lot of companies that I work with don't have websites, but some do. So starting with the page, you want to find a picture, and I'll show examples in a bit, a picture that works for your company, whether that's your logo or what you do. The dental laser company that I work with shows the image of their laser. Another company that I work with that is a dental lab company, it's a dental lab, but they have 25 labs under their one heading. So they just went with a logo, period. Then we could explain more within the company, and you'll see that later on. Sharing information. How much information do you want to share? How much information do you not want to share? If your company, if you have a lot of competitors, you don't want to be sharing too much information with people. So you have to decide right away what you're going to share and what you're not going to share. Coupons, giveaways. Again, all of this stuff is going to come later when I have individual slides, but creating events, having notes, and notes, some people choose to do, other people decide to do a blog. All of the companies that I work with, no blogs for them. A lot of the companies that I work with say one thing, they don't want to go any further, it's already scary territory for them. So, and I'm sure for a lot of you, Facebook, you're like, this is easy. I do Facebook all the time, I know how it goes. But I have to tell you, I hired somebody a little while ago who I had seen her Facebook page. It's a family friend. I knew that, you know, I thought, okay, she can put up pictures, she can post videos, she knows how to do status updates. Translating that to a business page, it was like pulling teeth. I mean, I literally, and no joke, there was one point that she was like, I don't understand how to do this, and I said, you need to give me a minute, I'm gonna hang up. I had to hang up the phone. I prayed for a while, and then I called her back, because I'm like, I'm probably gonna say something I'm gonna regret, because I can't believe you don't understand how to do this. But it's a real thing. People don't fully understand, and so, again, Facebook is changing all the time. So you have to really be up to date with what's going on. So that is Deca Laser Technology. So it's a laser that instead of all the bleeding, it cuts, it's a water-based laser, no blood, which is really nice. But I grew up, my dad did 15 years in dental, and he'd always bring me to these conventions. It's all bloody, and I'm like, I'm never doing anything in dental. This is disgusting. Don't want to talk about it. You know, and then he started this company, and I'm like, okay, I can handle that. So the picture, you can see it says Deca on there, which is what the company is. That's what the laser looks like. I mean, it's a machine about this big, which you wouldn't really know from that, but people know what it is. Not probably any of you, because you're like, I don't really talk about lasers, but you know, whatever. People can understand once you get onto the site. So sharing for them, I post 3 to 5 updates a week. Never over 2 things a day. Sometimes they have things coming out, so you need to post more than others. But no matter what, you want to decide, this is key, choosing how to update. Educational, fun, informative. It totally depends on your company, and that's where you have to really focus on. With your company, what do you want it to look like? Is it an informative one, like the dental group that I work with that's Dental Labs? They do not like to have fun. I'm like, hey, what about this idea? No. This is what we want to do. It's always educational, informative. We have this meeting coming up. We have this going on. It's not like, oh, this event's coming up in the cities. Don't you want to attend or something? No, none of that. But other places, they want to have it be fun. So in my opinion, I think that a balance is good. But again, you have to decide that for your company. So those are some examples that are on the Deca page. So they kind of balance it out. So this is more of a fun one. This one is like upcoming courses, and then usually we tag the courses in there, which comes in under events. So coupons and giveaways, again, all of this really, you have to apply it to your company. So what works for you? This is the dental services group that I was saying. It's the 25 labs under the one heading. So once they hit 1,000 fans on Facebook, they put this 10% coupon on the page, so people can print it off, bring it into the lab, they get their 10% off. So it, again, depends on what kind of stuff that you have. For Deca, they had a President's Challenge where they just ask a question, on the Facebook page, whoever got the answer right and it was dental related got $5 to Starbucks. And you don't have to advertise that. You can decide to or not. You don't have to say, oh, we're going to send you $5 to Starbucks. You can just say you get a prize however you want to word it. So that's the thing too, is putting it in the light that you want to put it in. So events. How many of you have seen an event that doesn't have a picture and then you just go past it? Because I do that. If there's an event and there's no picture, I'm like, oh, this isn't, they don't care. They didn't give any time to it, doesn't matter. I usually just go right past it. So I always have a picture, and if I don't have a picture to associate it with, then I'll just use the logo or whatever the profile picture is. So always have a picture. Again, a little bit or a lot of information, depending on what the event is. I'm going to show you one on the next screen, but make sure the time and the place are correct. Give contact information for further details. Sometimes people forget to do that, and then they're like, okay, wait, what happens if this happens? For example, I work with Solera Restaurant, which is downtown Minneapolis. So they have these rooftop movies in the summer. So they just had one, 300 movie. I actually went, I brought a group of friends. It was a ton of fun. So outside, we had this. Says when it's going to start, and then actually they have a thing on it. I just couldn't fit it all on there. When it's rain or shine, you know, they'll say if there's questions, call this number or whatever it is, what time it starts, all the information you want on there. Again, there was a picture so that you know what's going on. Like I said before, notes can be used like a blog, giving more information. So Dental Services Group has a newsletter that comes out. They have 4 a year. So what I do is they have, it's like 6 pages worth of a newsletter, and they don't have it posted online. So it's just a paper copy that goes out. So I take that information though. They have a PDF, but they don't have it online. So they send it to me. I break it up into different sections and post it on the Facebook, if that makes any sense. So I use the notes and I post it into different sections. So that it's not too much information for people, because that's another thing. You get on Facebook or whatever, a blog, and it's too much information and you just skim it. You know, so I break it up into little sections so that it's more helpful for people. Negative feedback. Hopefully you don't have this problem, but sometimes you will. And people will say things, you have to decide how you're going to respond. And that is one thing that I talk to people about right away. Okay, do you want me to say something? Do you want me to delete it? Do you want me to spin it a different way? Do you want me to have them contact you outside of Facebook, or are you going to contact that person outside of Facebook? Luckily, because I'm on Facebook a lot, I'm able to see it quickly if there is something wrong, and then knowing the company, I know what to do with it. But say somebody doesn't like your product and they say it right there. Are you gonna leave it up or are you not? And I work with one company that it's really funny. They had somebody say something bad about their product. They decided, I sent it to them right away. They decided to do nothing for a week. They just left it, absolutely nothing. And I'm sitting there like freaking out. You know, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is bad news. This person said some bad stuff about them. I gotta figure this out. They didn't care. They just said, leave it, whatever. So you have to decide what you wanna do when there's bad feedback. So building your spheres, I always say to start with one thing and do it well. My dad always taught me that. He's like, hey, you're good. I'm really good at doing a bunch of little things sometimes, but then what happens? Everything gets kind of everywhere. So he's like, do one thing well, focus on that, and then work out. So like I said, kind of want to categorize. So I usually start with Facebook. This is more of the order that I do. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, or tab. You have to decide, again, what works for you. And then if you are going to go with Facebook, you want to create a page, post pictures, publish notes, add events, and so forth, whatever works for you. And you definitely want to make sure it's something that you can maintain. So if you are going to create YouTube and you're going to say, oh, I'm going to come out with a video a week, and you're telling your viewers, hey, once a week I'm going to come out with a video, and then you don't.